In a crowded town hall buzzing with energy, an 8-year-old girl stepped up to the microphone. What happened next silenced the entire room. Even Elon Musk, the billionaire innovator, who always seemed to have an answer, paused for what felt like an eternity. Her question? Simple yet profound. And when Elon finally spoke, the words he shared about failure, resilience, and the power of hope left not a dry eye in the audience. The hall at a community center in Austin, Texas, was buzzing with excitement. Families, entrepreneurs, and students had gathered to hear from Elon Musk, the visionary behind Tesla, SpaceX, and a dozen other groundbreaking ventures. The stage was modest for someone of his stature, but Elon's presence more than compensated. His casual attire, a simple black t-shirt with the SpaceX logo and jeans, made him seem approachable. Yet his enigmatic aura filled the room. Elon began as he usually did, sharing anecdotes about Mars colonization, renewable energy, and AI breakthroughs. The crowd was rapt, hanging on every word. But among them sat an 8-year-old girl named Sophie. Sophie was small for her age, with bright blue eyes and a mop of curly blonde hair. She clutched a notebook covered in doodles of rockets and stars. Her father, an engineer, had encouraged her love for space and science. But Sophie wasn't here to discuss propulsion systems or battery efficiency. Her question, written in careful block letters, was much bigger. As Elon fielded questions about stock prices and quantum computing, Sophie fidgeted in her seat. Her dad noticed and whispered, "If you want to ask, now's the time." Taking a deep breath, Sophie walked toward the microphone. The crowd's murmur quieted as they noticed her. She was so tiny compared to the adults in line that the moderator had to adjust the mic stand. Elon squinted to see her better, a curious smile playing on his lips. "And what's your name?" "Sophie," she said, her voice barely audible. "Well, Sophie," Elon said, leaning forward slightly, "what's your question?" She gripped the notebook tightly, her cheeks pink with nervousness. "Mr. Musk," she began, "do you ever feel like maybe all the things you're trying to do might not work? And if they don't, what keeps you going?" The room fell silent. It was a question no one expected, least of all Elon. His usual quick wit seemed to abandon him. For a moment, he just stared at Sophie. Then he cleared his throat. "That's a very good question," he said, his voice softer than usual. He took a step back from the podium, folding his arms. "You know, when I was your age, I spent a lot of time thinking about big questions too. Like why we're here. What's the purpose of life? I even read a lot of philosophy." He smiled faintly. "And I realized something early on. The answers aren't easy." The crowd leaned in, sensing this wasn't a rehearsed response. "There have been many times," Elon continued, "when I thought everything might fail. PayPal, Tesla, SpaceX, they all came close to collapsing at some point. There were days I didn't know if we'd make payroll. Nights when I lay awake, wondering if I was wasting everyone's time, money, and trust." Sophie's wide eyes stayed locked on him, her expression a mix of awe and understanding. "But here's what keeps me going," Elon said, his voice gaining strength. "It's the belief that trying and failing is better than not trying at all. I think about the future, about people like you. If there's even a small chance we can make things better for the next generation, isn't it worth the risk?" He paused, his gaze sweeping the room. "The truth is, Sophie, failure is part of progress. It's not the opposite of success. It's a step toward it. What matters is that you keep learning, keep improving, and never stop believing in what's possible." Sophie's lips parted slightly, as if she wanted to say something but couldn't find the words. The crowd, too, seemed frozen in the weight of the moment. Then Elon added, "And sometimes when it feels like everything is falling apart, I remember something my mom told me when I was little. She said, 'The stars don't shine because they're perfect. They shine because they burn.'" Sophie's face lit up with a smile, her earlier nervousness melting away. She nodded. "Thank you," she said softly, stepping away from the mic. The room erupted into applause, but Elon didn't seem to notice. He kept his eyes on Sophie as she returned to her seat, a look of quiet determination on her face. Later that evening, as Elon signed autographs and posed for selfies, he spotted Sophie again. He crouched down to her level. "You know, Sophie," he said, The world needs more people who ask big questions. Don't stop asking them, okay? I won't, she promised. And as they smiled at each other, the moment felt like more than just a passing encounter. It was a reminder to Sophie, to Elon, and to everyone in the room that even the smallest voices can inspire the biggest dreams.